When looking at the digital beef profile of a shorthorn animal, it is common to get overwhelmed with all the data. That can be intimidating. There are lots of numbers. Even for a given trait on a specific animal, there are 4 bits of information or numbers available to analyze. I am not much different than most shorthorn breeders. All this data can be a drag. Just give me the data that I need to know. Well, the bad news is one should be aware of it all. The good news is, once you get it down, it's like riding a bike and you'll be able to navigate genetic evaluation really well. This slide deck has been created to give some insight into reading the data. We will not cover everything there is to know about the genetic evaluation, but just some quick insights and personal opinions of myself. These opinions do not represent the opinions of any organization I am affiliated with, including the American Shorthorn Association or my employer. Today, we are looking at the genetic profile of a non-parent or virgin shorthorn bull. Because it is a super important trait to the shorthorn evaluation, we will just analyze the birth weight EPD and the other data associated with it in this case. Why the birth weight EPD? Well, just like in the timeless business development book, Good to Great by Jim Collins, we must face the brutal facts. American shorthorns, in general as a population, have plenty of work to do in the area of birth weight. According to the USDA Meat Animal Research Center data published every year, shorthorns on average do not rank as well as compared to our other Bos Taurus counterparts. So in large part, we still need to improve the trait. Okay, back to the evaluation. The top number, as you can see, is the EPD. Just follow the rows across. For birth weight, it is the EPD value of 0. For weaning weight, it is 68. Yearling weight, 91, etc., etc. Truthfully, an EPD needs to be compared to the same EPD of a different animal in order to fully understand how to read them. And that has been covered in another video I created on how to read EPDs and the history of genetic evaluation in the United States. But today we are going to focus on the data in an individual's data box for a single trait. So the green arrow points to the EPD. I personally like to use animals that will make the greatest genetic impact at Bowman Superior Genetics. So I look for animals that will move the herd forward for traits I want to see improved at a fast rate. Therefore, I want to find an animal that ranks high or leads the population for the given EPD I am analyzing. So that directly moves me to the bottom of the box after finding the EPD. This yellow arrow represents the percentile rank of where the animal fits in the population for that given EPD. Here I would tell you a smaller number is better than a larger number, generally speaking, if you want to move traits faster or make the greatest impact to your herd at a quicker rate. The best in a population is in the top 1% for a given trait. The worst would be in the 100th percentile, or what is published in Digital Beef is the greater than 95 percentile figure. This animal, as we can see, ranks in the top 25% for birth weight EPD. Therefore, we can assume 75% of shorthorns in its population are worse at the birth weight EPD. Remember, smaller or a percentile rank closer to 1% is better for the percent rank if you want to make the greatest change for genetic progress. Now we get into the hairy stuff that not many people utilize. There are 2 rows left. The blue arrow points to the possible change figure, or a range where the true genetic value of an animal lies for that given trait. Again, this represents a range. Accuracy, or the orange arrow, is pointing at the reliability of the EPD. I would say a 0.2 is preliminary in the shorthorn evaluation. A 0.4 accuracy is a good start to reliability. A virgin animal with essentially 0 performance data but has a genomic record usually sits around 0.4. Further, a 0.6 for accuracy is pretty dependable for a shorthorn sire and puts the animal in a reliable spot. And a 0.8 is highly proven accuracy for a shorthorn in my estimation. As the accuracy grows and gets higher, or closer to 1.0, the possible change range shrinks, getting us closer to the animal's true genetic value, or what I like to call the ultimate EPD. The more data turned in on the animal and their progeny, including DNA testing available through the ASA and Neogen, then the higher the accuracy. Again, the more data that gets turned in, the more possible change range shrinks. But we need to analyze this range for better understanding of what we are dealing with. For this animal represented on this slide with a 0 birth weight EPD at 0.41 accuracy, we see the possible change range is plus or minus 1.8. That means the true genetic value is likely between negative 1.8 to positive 1.8. You can see that plus or minus 1.8 to the number EPD value of 0 is negative 1.8 to positive 1.8. A quick side note. The true genetic value of an animal is not guaranteed to be in the possible change range, but it is twice as likely to exist here than not be in the range. Also, the possible change range is illustrated as the long gold bar in the graph below the data rows in the digital beef profile. The red hash mark represents the EPD at its current accuracy. This graph is a good illustration of the numbers seen in the genetic profile. Okay, back to the evaluation. The range of negative 1.8 to positive 1.8. What does that mean? It means that the animal's true genetic value is possibly where he is today, and likely at the top 25%, or it is somewhere else in the range of the nearly top 7% to the near top 55th percentile. So what does that mean? Wow, yes, this animal could be in the top 10% or better for the birth weight EPD. That's great if you're wanting to improve that trait in your herd. But it also means this animal could be below breed average for birth weight EPD. In my personal opinion, that can be alarming if you plan to breed heifers to him just because he started off with a 0 birth weight EPD. You be the judge on how much risk you want to take. But where did I find the percentile ranks to know that a negative 1.8 means around the top 7% and a positive 1.8 ranks at nearly the 55th percentile or worse than breed average? It's simple. To find the percent ranks, I clicked on the percent ranks link on the left-hand margin of Digital Beef. There are 3 tables on this page: sires and dams, meaning animals that have offspring already and data in the database, and then non-parents, or animals that have no progeny yet. I scrolled to the bottom and found the non-parents chart since the animal we used in our example is not a sire of anything, and I have used this chart to see where the possible change range is via the potential EPD of the calf could express as we seek out its ultimate EPD. And there you have it. That's my insight to EPD possible change, accuracy, and percent rank. Make sure you keep the percentile ranks table handy as you analyze those animals you are thinking of investing in the future. To learn more about shorthorns and their genetic evaluation, visit our blog or the other pages on the Bowman Superior Genetics website, www.breedforprofit.com. You can also contact me directly at my cell number or personal email. I am open for suggestions of other topics to cover or questions you may have about any of my previous presentations. Take care, and thanks so much for tuning in.